Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Jan, CEO of Acquire.Fi. We have Andrew again here from Magnus Capital. Andrew, what's up?
Hey man, how's it going? I'm just catching up with all the back-to-back conference stuff, following up with people we've met and chatted with. It's been a very busy week.
Yeah, I agree. Token was very hectic. I think it was very bullish overall. I did actually a video on Monday just covering like what's been happening there. What do you think? Was it
Yeah, I
bullish
mean
or?
it was quite bullish, I would say. Everybody was very hopeful for Q4. It seems like a lot of projects I've talked with, they all are planning like launches and stuff for Q4 as well. So there might be a little bit of overcrowding. That's like kind of like my little concern. But other than that, it seems like most people are buying up names. A lot of narratives were kind of popping off for like AI and stuff. And People's vibe was generally quite happy. So I think we are seeing a bit of a bullish Q4 already.
Yeah, it was very refreshing to be honest. Last 2 years have been very negative on token, but this year was pretty positive.
Nice.
But you're correct. There's a lot of launches coming up in October. But actually, we were talking about this before with a lot of VC friends with you. That is there going to be enough liquidity for this new not for these new launches? And actually, FTX is going to finally start paying their creditors, and I think this is going to be something that will get us more liquidity into the market, will be positive. Also, there's a lot of OTC already happened. So obviously, I don't think it's going to dump, but who knows? And on this format, we usually been showing first the market reports, but I think we're going to be showing some news first, analyzing a little bit and giving our remarks. But yeah, what do you think of this FTX event that will happen?
It's awesome, man. I'm excited. I had some funds on there too, and essentially, what I'm going to be doing is buying up names with the money coming back finally.
There we go. Like everyone else. But
Yeah,
it's
hopefully.
yeah, I mean it's a lot of money, $15 billion. Most of it is in stable coins, what I understood. Um,
Yeah,
so it's gonna be curious to see like is this money going to BTC or alts or what are we
yeah.
seeing? But I have to say myself, like I've seen an uptick in secondaries now, which is good. And overall, I think the market is recovering. Um, but yeah, what do you think? Is this a bullish news or not?
Yeah. I mean, it could be a mixed bag, right? Because, well, I guess like because everybody's getting stables back, right? So, I mean, you're more likely to be spending that and hopefully, reloading on names. I would think it'd be a little bit different if you were getting like, the assets themselves, because, a lot of those assets from a couple years ago are kind of up technically. So, you're more inclined to probably take profits maybe. But since everyone's getting stables, I think that just adds a bit more liquidity to the market here now.
Do you think this could be like a COVID injection, like when everyone got a ton of money for free? And this is basically the same thing. Getting back their money that
Mm,
they lost, we're back to track with their basically money that was not there.
yeah, I mean, it definitely could. It's not technically free money just because it is money that we lost.
True that.
So, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's go to the next topic. PayPal. So people who don't know, PayPal actually has also a stable coin, which has been starting to get some traction. And I think this is very bullish for crypto. Uh, there's one thing that I want to say about PayPal. Anyone that has used PayPal before, they're notorious by banning your account. But anyway, PayPal is still one of the largest payment providers online, and they have huge amount of users. But even in the US, like almost all e-commerce platforms are using them. And as we have more remittance trades going on, I think this is very bullish. What do you see here?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely good for progression, now that actual like businesses in the US can buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrency without the worry of being banned and stuff. Like, I think this just opens up the road for more retail buyers as well and stuff. So, definitely a bullish event in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say here that despite the presidential election, it's going to be very hard, no matter if Kamala or Trump wins, and let's say they would go against crypto. It's very hard for the businesses that are going all in on crypto to go back. So I think the more we get like news like this, the harder it is to stop crypto eventually. So overall, very bullish events coming up. Quarter 4 is going to be very good, hopefully. And if events like these happen more and more, we're on a track to be having a very good quarter. On another news, our saver, our god, ZZ is getting out. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, I initially thought this would be kind of a sell the news event, but it seems like
You
people
don't
are
think it's
taking it
gonna be
as
a
like
cycle?
a
You don't think it's gonna be a super cycle?
I mean, who knows, man? I don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately, but I definitely do feel the bullish energy amongst like our communities and peers. Seems like this is like a positive news thing finally being out. So fingers crossed that he helps continue the market rallying here.
Yeah, I think overall, like I was saying about this in the beginning of the year, like CZ has been this villain for a while, but actually he going to prison is a very bullish thing for crypto because basically when Sam went to prison, the U.S. government needed to have another person to also go to prison, and CC took the hit. I know that Binance has had, uh, let's say, a lot of negative news lately, but I think what they did and how they handled the whole situation last year's, and especially last year when they were under heavy fire, it's been very good. Like I have huge respect for ZZ. I think we both met him at least a couple of 3 times. But yeah, I think this is bullish. Hopefully, he will not go and ruin his reputation. He's now out after 4 days, so
Yeah, yeah, pretty awesome. I mean, 4 months was like not much of a sentence.
nah, it was very good for him. He's
Yeah,
super rich now, so let's hope
yeah,
he stays that way.
yeah.
Anyway, Bitcoin ETF flows has been very positive lately. Before this, I think we were before Singapore and token, we had almost only negative days, but lately we're getting quite positive days, and especially Grayscale has started to buy BTC again. Obviously, we're still not there where we want to be, but definitely a bullish momentum here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty bullish like fundamental like liquidity event with like the 50 bips cut in the Fed rates. The market was rallying pretty hard for the last 2 weeks. So I do see that a lot of people were buying up Bitcoin. So overall, I am kind of bullish. Yeah, I think like based on the charts though, like there are some things that are kind of little bit of a concern for me, but we can go into that next after. Yeah.
Got it. And then on ETF flows for Ethereum, they're still negative. Obviously, we've been covering this for a while, but one of the largest, let's say, holders of these ETFs is Grayscale, and people are dumping their ETFs because they have a 2.5% fee against everyone else that have like 0.25.
Oh wow.
They dumped more than $3 billion. So we have still like 6 billion to go, and until I think this happens, we're gonna be having quite negative flows for Ethereum. And lately, especially in Singapore, I noticed that there's a huge competition between Solana and Ethereum. And
Yeah.
also, Vitalik singing on the stage is obviously not that cool.
Yeah, that's always a bad sign when you get people starting to sing and dance in public.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
I
what
mean,
happened there.
this could probably explain why like ETH has been so slow too, like comparative to like Bitcoin. Just seems to be in like since the ETFs, just been nonstop selling, like just dumping and dumping.
Yeah, but this is the reason. Grayscale has such a big holding and their fee is
Yeah,
so ridiculous compared to others. Like, what can you do there? Like, if I would be an institution with hundreds of millions of dollars and I have to pay 2.5 or 250 bips, that's insane.
yeah,
It's just like Grayscale is making buck, but hey, good for
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But yeah, on Vitalik singing, I think I'm gonna start taking also singing classes. It's like a trend now. If you're a CEO, you have to sing. So
Oh
I don't know.
no. Don't make me bearish on you, bro.
Okay. Anyway, let's go to your graphs and see what's happening and your market
Sure,
reports.
sure,
There we
sure.
go. It's all
So normally,
yours.
I like to kind of go through the seasonality stuff first, right? So
Yeah.
the seasonality for us was supposed to be like we're supposed to get a pretty rally into like mid to a little bit late September, and then we are expecting a bit of a sell off coming into October. We're like 4 days away, and it seems like it's been just straight up right now. So these charts aren't always perfect, but October is typically where we are supposed to see kind of like the main bottom troughs. And then coming out going into like closer to end of the year, we do expect, all-time highs. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. We are at all-time highs already on the S&P, so we'll see how things go from there. Um, in the tech sector, same thing. We were supposed to get a bit of a rally like mid-September, and then we are supposed to get a bit of a sell-off coming into October, creating our bottom troughs. But right now, it seems like it's the opposite. It seems like we're kind of front running this bottom here in October, and prices are up. But ideally, we are still focusing for end of the year to see these massive moves up, and then hopefully get more all-time highs broken, at least in crypto.
Yeah. What do you
Uh,
think of the Fed cuts? Like that's obviously the biggest factor here why we've been basically pumping, right?
yeah, yeah. So like, I mean, the market was, expecting like either 25, 50 bips. A lot of us actually thought the 50 bip cuts would have been a bearish event, like a sell-off event. But it seems like the market's actually reacting quite positively towards that. So, obviously there was a lot of like pressure release in terms of like borrowing extra money now, and people are seeming to be quite bullish. So, uh, feeling pretty good about it so far. But let's see how October comes in.
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
October.
So
Oh,
yeah, I mean it's already up. So let's see if this trend can keep continuing.
yeah.
Let me share my charts for Bitcoin now. Let me know if you do see it.
Yeah. Please
Uh,
zoom in a little bit more.
okay, is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So, the last couple of weeks we've had these massive rally. We had a nice long reload zone from this bottom here. What was really nice is that we created these like higher lows, right? So that's the start of a trend. And then we do have this high, and now we have this high. So ideally, we want to break above this, like over here, to create the higher high, and then that would signify that we are in a very bullish trend because higher highs, higher lows indicates a bullish trend. At the moment, though, we are trying to break these highs, and there's a lot of resistance clearly. Like we had the 200 SMA here that kind of like acted as like a pretty big shield. And then we also were up against the 61.8 short reload zone. And so with these combined, and then also with momentum showing that we are overbought, we got a little bit of a pause here. We also have kind of a bit of like a railroad track kind of candles going on here. So based on basically whichever direction this breaks, either we break up higher to continue higher, or we break lower to kind of come back and retrace, and then kind of see where we go from there. So, right now we are at critical levels of like, okay, are we gonna blast off to the moon, or are we gonna kind of get a bit of a cool off, reset, and then try again, kind of momentum here?
What are
Uh,
you taking here? Are you buying or shorting, or are you just waiting?
I'm I'm just kind of waiting. Like, if you wanted to short at that, like you would have had to gone on like a bit of a smaller time frame. Like for me on the daily, there isn't a real setup here. Like, there's no like double bottoms or sorry, no double tops or anything yet. I do see indicators are starting to show signs of like weakness, but overall, I don't think there's a real trade here yet. I mean, maybe you could have shorted up here when we did take the 61.8. There was a double top right there. But I think it's a little bit too late, in my opinion. So I wouldn't really recommend anything there yet. So I'm just kind of waiting to see how this kind of gets resolved here at this little range. Um, and then if we go over to ETH, ETH is kind of similar in the sense that like, we did come up into these short reload zones. And as you can see, price is kind of like stuck here. It's kind of chilling. We didn't hit overbought conditions, and there aren't any signs of bear divs yet. So, I think this is mostly just the fact that we're in these resistance levels that markets are kind of cooling off. And so, yeah. So same thing, like, right now we are against the 38.2. This is typically where markets are going to like stop first, try to consolidate to see if this trend is up. And then we did have this really nice double bottom form kind of within the reload zone. So I do think the trend is still up here. But again, we do need to break these highs because then we can create higher highs, higher lows, indicating a bullish trend. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We have so much to dump with grayscale, so breaking that 3,000 resistance over there is gonna be super hard. And I think is that the red one is 200 MNA. MA.
Yeah, this one up here is a 200 SMA here, and
Yeah.
still a little bit of a way from it, right? And then, obviously, if you look up above, we've got this like massive range that still hasn't been even able to retrace to 38.2, which is quite interesting because that's also going to be a really big resistance level as well. And
Yeah,
that's kind of like where the market has to break above.
we need Vitalik to sing more.
Oh yeah, maybe. Damn.
What about
Yeah.
the liquidation heat map? What are you seeing there?
Yeah, so I got the liquidation heat map up for Bitcoin right now. I'm seeing that there's actually a lot of levels down here, just below, around 62K.
You want to
Um,
show?
you know, oh, sorry, am I sharing? Not sharing this tab. Sorry.
There we go.
There we go. So yeah, a lot of liquidation forming here, just below 62. As you can see, it's kind of like right below these lows. So it looks like they're probably going to try to do a stop run, perhaps. You do have a lot of liquidations kind of building up right above as well. These levels are around 63 to 64K. So you got a little bit of a mixed bag here up in these two ranges. So yeah, lot building around 65K. That's kind of like where we need to kind of break above. But I could see it coming down to these lower halves first, mainly
Correct.
because we got quite a bit right there, 42 million or 44 million. Sorry.
What about ETH?
Let's check. Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
look at that.
Yeah. So ETH already hit hits. And then obviously you got these massive ones up here, but you also got a lot down here as well. So since we've already hit the top one here, I do see the double top kind of forming here. We might have to come down and test these lows. Like it's quite interesting. You can see kind of like how they like set these levels. It's like usually just like right below the lows. It's pretty much where everybody has their stop loss on this long, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm surprised how much more. I don't know if it's just the map that shows it's much more greener and there's more liquidity, or people are just more degenerate on ETH and just trying to go short and long. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, like the whole talk of like the conference was like, oh, Solana's gonna overtake ETH. Everybody should sell and dump ETH.
Yeah,
And so
I don't
clearly
I
that's
don't
why
know.
people are piling on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but good for Solana. There was a lot of good shit on the Breakpoint. So Breakpoint is like Solana's biggest event. There was a lot of Solana bull boys saying like how good they are, but I don't know. Like it still has the most stable coins. It's still most used.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard, but obviously there's Grayscale with so much money, just waiting to be dumped. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, what
Hopefully,
other coins are you looking at the moment?
yeah,
You have
here,
any
let
good
me
setups?
let me share some here. I got this alt index that I kind of want to go over as well.
Oh, perfect.
So we had the Bitcoin dominance, like it broke down pretty hard here. It's quite nice because we had these like breakdown. Ideally I want to see this kind of breakdown below here to give us the real big like the super cycle, like everything up, kind of like momentum. But let's see. Um, the nice thing too is like as Bitcoin dominance was breaking down, the stablecoin dominance was also breaking down, so showing that the money inflow was coming right back into the alts instead. And as you can see, the alt indexes were moving up. we had these like kind of long double bottoms form as well, and hopefully we get these like even larger double bottoms form, and then that will kind of help with like the alts rallying harder. So I mean, I do like the direction and the way the indexes are looking. Definitely looking in favor for the alt indexes. And yeah, keeping my eye on the Bitcoin dominance here to keep seeing this breaks down. And yeah,
Question: do you think we break the Bitcoin dominance over there, we will still be pumping, or do you think the whole market cap of everything will just go up because of this FTX event?
yeah. I mean, it depends, right? Like if everybody starts buying, right? You know, alts and everything and Bitcoin can still technically keep rallying as like even if the dominance does fall off a bit. So yeah,
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what will happen when FTX starts to pay this different money,
yeah. I mean, I'm
different
I'm planning
recoveries.
to spend it on coins and stuff too. So, so you know, that's kind of like my aim here right now. So,
Oh
um,
wow, look at the US dollar. Oh wow.
yeah. So you know, I was looking at this like the Dixie was getting kind of beat up. You know, a lot of it had to do with like you know the yen and the bonds rallying pretty hard. Um, But the thing is like, you know, we didn't actually break these lows here. We broke this critical low here, which was kind of important. The market did try to rally, and it was within these reload zones, but it looks like it kind of failed pretty hard. Now, what we're seeing is like, okay, we had the bullish divergence, we had the oversold conditions here. We have this like 88.6 tag. This is like typically where like institutions are going to kind of step in and defend their positions. Uh, and so what we notice here is that okay, market tagged it a couple times. It keeps bouncing back up, and then we do see like the moving averages also converging here slowly. So I do expect like there is going to be a little bit of a pop and a little bit of a reversal. I don't know how strong it's going to be or how like you know how bullish this can be, but obviously right now we are still missing like kind of a bit of a double bottom structure here. Uh, but maybe this just kind of jackknifes up a little bit. So I don't think that's like the best thing for like risk on assets. You know, usually when Dixie is up, you know, equities and crypto does take a little bit of a pullback. So definitely keep my eyes on this closely here because you know I do think that there is a bit of a reversal kind of building in the dollar
Got it. And
here.
obviously, the Fed rate cut basically affected this quite a lot.
Yeah.
My question is, what if we start pumping here? Do you think risk assets will still go up, or are we just going to be normally recovering, or what?
Well, generally, you know, if this thing starts rallying pretty hard, we do get a bit of a pullback in crypto and equities. Maybe we're in a situation where you know both markets can rally as well because there are times like that as well where you know everything is up. And right now, I think a lot of this like price action has to do with kind of like how bonds and yens are acting. Um, so like based on like kind of like how bonds are like kind of bonds are trying to like double top, or I guess it already kind of topped out here. Now it's just kind of like consolidating based off this previous range. Yen is also kind of breaking down quite a bit here. It looks like. Um, so we'll see how these things kind of like reverse because the more these the yen and the bond breaks down, same with the euro, then the dollar kind of reverses. But right now, still a little bit too early to tell, I guess.
Got it. So,
Um,
what about on alts? What are you seeing? Is there anything that you're looking to buy at these levels, or
yeah, I mean, you know, I looked at a bunch of alts. You know, a lot of our names that we picked out like a few weeks ago, like
yeah,
they're
they've
all
been
up quite a
doubling,
bit.
buffing?
So yeah, so we did hit a few doubles off of our names. So I don't really want to recommend chasing them, and so it's kind of hard to find like newer names. But obviously, there's a lot of like lagging ones. So you know, I went over some names on my market report, like Mansell. I thought Zero was kind of looking nice here. I've been seeing it kind of talked a lot about on socials right now as well, especially with like Polymarket doing its raise or whatever. Uh, so obviously the Gamblify sector can see a bit of a rally here. And I do like kind of how the chart lined up. You're at an 88.6. You got the double bottom. You got the bullish MACD divergence as well, and yeah, I thought this one was probably one of the best picks in my opinion for me. Then you got the Solana ecosystem stuff that I noticed. Stuff was kind of rallying. Pyth is kind of breaking out here with the bullish divergence as well. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have access to this market report, I do post this on my Twitter, so you guys can kind of take a look and go through the different names. One interesting one was CeeLo, or yeah, CeeLo or Kelo. This trade was lining up pretty nicely in my opinion. We had this nice bullish volume coming in. We got this wide double bottom. You're right at 88.6. And the funny thing is that the day after I posted this, Vitalik actually quoted it.
Oh
Not
wow.
my direct quote, but he mentioned CeeLo and stuff like that, and got a really nice pop off it because of it. So we got a really big volume coming in now as well, and I think this trade is starting to play out. So this is definitely I wouldn't chase this here now. Obviously, what you can do is you can do like a fib range. Um, yeah, let's dig into this, and then kind of wait for a pullback. Like if this trend is strong and it is supposed to continue, maybe we get a consolidation back down to the 38.2. This is typically our first stop, like we said, and this is kind of like where I would look for like a entry again. It is also like kind of near like where my entry point wasn't to begin with, anyways. So we'll be looking for retracements for that. If you are wanting to get into this trade, please do not chase. And yeah,
With big ones. I think another one that was being talked about a lot lately, and especially in Singapore, was Tao, bit
oh yeah,
tensor. But
Cal was definitely nice. Yeah,
yeah, but what's I don't think people understand, but basically half of the circulating supply is gonna come out in the next 6 months, or was it even 3 months? So
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't chase it at these levels for sure.
No,
We were actually talking
absolutely.
about it. Remember, we were talking about DAO for a while here in this channel,
Yeah.
and I think we bought at 325. I bought at 425 also. I had still some bags, so I sold, but obviously it's too late now. But
Yeah. So do the same thing. Draw your fib ranges. You know, um, that this trending is pretty strong, right? Your 30.2 levels are typically where you're going to be wanting to see consolidation, at least a retracement and consolidation. And then say you wanted to get in even cheaper. If you're like me that wants to get in like at really cheap levels, then I would come down and look for these 61.8 to 78.6 levels. But for me personally, I hope this keeps rallying because like I'm so close to my double here. Uh, so let me hit my double first, and then we can retrace and we can all load in again. Um, that's
yeah.
ideally what I'm looking for.
Another one that was talked about and actually was in the news was Celestia, so Tia. Uh,
Yes.
it's been actually very active on secondaries. Like we had actively traded in on secondaries, and now they just raised $100 million.
Yeah, I
There's
saw
going to
that.
be a
That's
lot
cool.
of supply coming out on the 31st of October. I don't know how this usually affects the market. Usually it's quite bullish, which is kind of weird. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the rally already. We're up, from the bottom, we're already up like over 60%. I've been in this trade for a while. I ate a lot of shit for this. And just kind of like held through it. And I was like, okay, we're getting really close to getting stopped out here. But, luckily prices held. We had a nice 88.6 level tag here as well. So obviously the institutions came in, stepped in, defended their levels. Now we're coming back up, rallying. We are coming into 78.6 levels. This is kind of where I originally bought, so we're still tempted at my entry now. I do see that we have a little bit of a bearish divergence forming in the MACD, and we are starting to get closer to the overbought conditions. So obviously do not chase here. I do think that markets are probably going to pull back a little bit, and then obviously there's a little bit of a sell pressure with the whole like token unlock stuff. um, but let's see. Like they just raised 100 mil. Maybe they do some buybacks and they push the market back up here. So Yeah, wouldn't chase it though.
Yeah. What about Solana?
All right, let's look at Solana. All right, so this trade is actually kind of like technically busted, but I still have it up here. I think it's Solana. The trade's done. I mean, the trade was obviously back down here, on this little double bottom. You could try to chase it. I wouldn't really chase it. We had the 200 SMA smack down. We do have a little bit of a bear div kind of forming here as well in the MACD, and you are getting closer to the overbought areas as well. So, I mean, this thing could keep rallying, right? Especially if Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything else keeps moving up. But in general, I do think the level would have been kind of closer to 140, just on that double bottom there.
Got it. What do you think is a good position now? Like, what is your next thing here? Next alt that you are looking at today or tomorrow that you are very picky or at
Uh,
least thinking of taking a position?
Honestly, probably Uniswap. Like Uniswap's getting really close to this double bottom confirming. We also have like speculations, Uniswap V4 is coming out soon. So obviously that's going to create some traction. Momentum doesn't look the best. We did have a bullish diversion confirmed back here. We had the Wyckoff check hold, and we are technically within the reload zone still. I'm just waiting for this double bottom to confirm, which is taking quite a bit of time. But if this breaks out here, I am tempted to just take a position on it because I do think this is a pretty strong name, and I do a lot of trading using Uniswap. It's one of my favorites right now as well, and yeah, we'll see how these go. I do think like when we do break out here, we probably will hit the overbought conditions. So when we do break out, there probably will be a retrace. But let's see how strong this rally can hold here.
Got it. Well, I think it's good to end our show here. We're at 30 minutes now. People, thanks for watching us again. Obviously, what we say here is not the financial advice. Andrew,
Yep.
you're the fucking master of the trading view.
Awesome.
Master of the charts.
No, I'm just a student of the market still.
Always good
That's
to
what
have
my
here. And obviously, like people that have been following Andrew's reports, I think you guys have been pretty happy because almost, I don't know, you guys hit so many doubles the last 2 weeks. It's pretty amazing.
thank you.
Even I hit my first double with you, so that's good. I finally
Nice.
followed
Hell
your
yeah.
advice.
Awesome.
But yeah, hey, guys, please follow us. Please like this channel and subscribe. We will do weekly videos, and hopefully, me and Andrew can do more value for you guys and bring what we know or see in the market.
Awesome. Thanks, Jan. Thanks for having me.
Ciao.